so many thoughts about the Destiel fans.
I know you're just such
live?
a hardcore fan.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. We are absolutely fucking live.
Having
Hi,
your
guys.
days immediately buried at like the end of the series, like you're holding on to a thread that is rapidly burning at the tension point. You know, like they killed the ship as soon as it ended, and you're holding on to that. There are better ways to go. There are better ships,
it's called
better couples,
fan fiction.
Or that.
It's how we fix everything for ourselves.
Well,
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Twitch.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Twitch.
Hi.
Hi. Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy.
Hello. Hi. I've never gone live on this channel before. I think JT's gonna say some stuff.
I am. We have a Discord. Join our Discord. It's cool. We hang out. But more importantly, we are... Oh, good. Okay, cool. It pasted. We're raising money for the PCRF. We're always raising money for the PCRF, indefinitely. That's a big thing for us to help. How we can help. We have it, just a link posted in the chat there, along with our Discord link, if you would like it. We will always be raising money for it. That is an indefinite thing. Yeah, feel free to donate if you can. Otherwise, we appreciate your viewership and support here at this channel, which I am allegedly running and doing announcements for. But enough with the business, Will, if you would be so kind.
Yeah, I could be so kind. Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us this evening here at Entropy Emporium. This is the inaugural stream, the first episode of God Complex. Couple things that I will say off the bat. This is a Girl by Moonlight stream. We are using that system. It's going to be a good time. Also, my OBS is struggling a little bit, just as a heads up. And there are multiple ways that you can do captioning. There's the captioning that's on the screen. It may or may not capture everybody. We were having some difficulty to begin with, so that you can also control the captions through the Twitch controls. That is a secondary one. You'll just see everybody as one text source, but the fireworks have started. That's fun. Yeah, I think we'll probably just go ahead and get started. But before we do that, we'll go around and we'll do some introductions, who everyone is, who they're playing, things like that. And I guess I will go last, both because I normally default to alphabetical order, and also because I have, I guess, probably the least to say. I'm running this game. So, Cass, if you want to kick us off, who are you? Who are you playing?
I forgot that you do alphabetical order, and I was like, wait. Who's for shit? Me. It's me.
And it always will be.
And it always will be. Okay, so what are we sharing about? Are we doing playbooks or anything? Or are we just?
We certainly can.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I'm Cass, better known as Yoda or Yoda Almighty, around the interwebs. Tonight I am playing Troy and Mot. I'm mispronouncing my own character's name. Call sign Ati, and that's Ati. And I'm, to no one's surprise, playing the Outsider playbook. So that's me. There's nothing wrong with my character whatsoever. Nothing.
This is known. Izzy.
Hello. Hi, I'm Izzy. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me on the internet in a couple places, mostly on Twitter. Yes, I know, still Twitter. Z_mist. Mist with a Y because fantasy. I am playing Tolu Ajaka, a she, her pronouns with the Unlikely Hero playlist, call sign Bumblebee. I think those are all the things Cass just said. So I am going to trail off and leave this sentence.
Oh, yeah. JT?
Hello, I'm JT. You remember me from about 2 minutes ago? My pronouns are they, them, and tonight I will be playing Cogs, the time traveler, call sign Carmente.
Amazing. Logan?
Hello, hello. My name is Logan, also known as Logan the GM. That's where you can find me in most social media places. Tonight, I will be playing Roswell Garm, also known as Chief. Pronouns he, him, and my call sign is Cypher.
And last but certainly not least, the uncles.
You should look at my Twitter. But anyway, hi, I'm Youngles.
Oh, no, don't do this. I already know what this says. I already know what this says.
And I'm playing Hayden Grace Choi. Everyone calls her Grace because nobody can pronounce her name. And she has some trauma, but that's, neither here nor there. And that's all I have to say right now. Oh, I'm doing the Harmony playbook. But other than that, there's nothing else I have to say right now.
And hello. Hi, my name is Will. I'll be your storyteller this evening and future evenings for this game, which I think we'll go ahead and dive into all of that out of the way. Why not? I mean, it happened.
Just own up to it. You gotta own
you
it.
You just have to own up to it at this point.
I
Own
didn't
your
say-
shame.
That's not what I
He
meant.
didn't technically
Oh,
say
your
the word. You just
I didn't
alluded.
say you're ugly.
You did not say those words. I will
Those
give you
exact
that.
words were not said.
Those
But
exact words were not said. They were not said.
This is politician grade nitpicking.
However, they were certainly alluded to.
Mhm.
It was an accident. There was a preview. No, there was a
Heavily
preview
implied.
of the stream. All right, hold on. There was a preview of the stream, and some people in the group said, "I don't want to have to look at myself any longer than I have to." And I
Mhm.
said, "Understandable." Meaning that,
Said,
yeah,
yes, bitch.
I get
Exactly.
that vibe. I understand that feeling. And then shortly thereafter, realized what I had said. So
mm-hmm.
And then I said,
It's
I'm
so
going to start a
hot.
club that acknowledges that we're all gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Logan did say that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause Logan's a better person than me.
I mean, as long as you're aware of it, Will.
I am.
It's important to acknowledge that you have a problem.
I'm all
I
for
think we
restorative
made great
justice. You can come back
strides.
from this. You can come back from this.
I don't know.
My problem is speaking. My problem is speaking, which is bad news for everybody who's here for this stream.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Let's do this. I hate this fucking family. We're playing this.
Okay, I'll
we're
see.
playing this game, and let's dive into it. So get back into the vibe, if such a thing is possible. Once upon a time, man stared at the stars and dreamed about what lay beyond our own world, what mysteries might be out there, what questions might have answers, what secrets yet to be discovered might lurk out there. And at first, to answer those questions, they created stories. They created figures who were large beyond our world, lived on other worlds, traveled between them freely. They created figures to explain why storms raged, why oceans were deep, why the sun gave light and warmth. In absence of truth, They told stories. And it wasn't until many, many hundreds of years later, long after those stories had been cast aside in favor of science and reason, long after the gods of the old world were dead, metaphorically speaking, long after we took to the skies, moved beyond our world, discovered other ones, created new homes, new societies, all united under the same common banner. Only then did we discover that it was not a metaphor. The gods lay dead. Their killers lurked just beyond our eyesight, just outside of our visible spectrum. And when we found them, they found us. The Citadel fleet hangs in space, all that remains of humanity in this time, in this age. A motley collection of spaceships, a handful of military vessels, but for the most part, civilian ships, a few science vessels, even some shuttlecraft that have no business, but accommodations are sparse in the fleet. Most of these ships can't take on any more passengers or crew. And all of them travel in the shadow, the protective shadow, of the last remaining Leviathan Hunter warship mankind built, the Delphi. One of the only vessels ever constructed powerful enough to even hurt one of the Leviathans. The fleet moves because it must. Because if it pauses, if it stops for too long, they will catch up. They are, after all, drawn to life itself, and their insatiable, unquenchable thirst to devour it. Within the Delphi, a man, grizzled, tired-looking, long past his prime, a well-trimmed beard on his craggy features, heavy bags under his eyes, sits in the commander's chair of the warship, glass in hand. It's late, after service hours. The jacket of his uniform is unbuttoned, sits open. He glances down at the glass in his hand. Lifts it up to his mouth. Takes a sip. Sets it back down. Redirects his gaze back to the holographic display screens that line the area in front of his eyes as he takes in the information. Little cards with pictures of people, operators, their photos, their names, their call signs, ages, ranks. any size, as each one in front of him turns gray, a red X appearing across them. Finally, when none are left, he leaves the empty glass sitting on the armrest of the chair. He stands up. He moves to the door of the bridge, his boots clicking on the grated floor as he does so. He pauses for a second in the doorway before he steps through, and the door slides shut behind him, leaving the bridge of the Delphi in silence and isolation. And that is where we are going to begin our story. This time, if you've ever played Girl by Moonlight before, this is a Forged in the Dark system. The play happens in phases, which means that as we begin this particular story, as we dive right on in, we're going to be going into the obligation phase and seeing some of the day-to-day responsibilities that our cast of characters have to attend to the following day. With all that being said, I don't believe there's a set order to this or anything. Cool. So, if I am not mistaken, does anybody want to go first?
Come on, someone
Call
volunteer.
names.
Someone
I know.
volunteer before we're voluntold. I'll go
All right.
first then. I'll go first.
Yeah,
Thank
do the
you,
right
thank
thing.
you, Logan. Thank you.
Yeah. What would you like me to do? What would you have me do?
So, what I would like you to do is you're gonna roll your lowest attribute.
That's my stars. I have
Okay.
0 in stars. So,
Perfect.
and when I have 0, I think I roll 2 and I take the lowest, right?
That is correct.
Well, that's a 1.
Okay.
I will mark my stress accordingly.
You are gonna take stress equal to 6 minus the die result
So
in this particular moment.
that's 5. That's a lot of stress, y'all.
That is a lot of stress.
Chief is stressed out.
That much is clear. And if stars is rolled, your obligation puts you under social pressure or sets off your anxiety.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Weird.
So I'll ask you first and foremost, if there is an obligation in it that you think would fit that for Chief. Otherwise, I'm happy to come up with something.
I think so. We've just come back from a devastating mission where we lost
It's been a couple weeks, but yes, you did just get back from that.
And we lost our team lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I can very easily see that translating to him overcompensating to get these kids back into shape effectively. And I would put that maybe under a social pressure of like, now I'm in charge, not officially, not in any official capacity, but just by being the eldest. And it's really messing with me.
It is really messing with you. That is extremely fair. Okay, so I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense that as the essentially ranking officer, as the person who has been doing this the longest easily out of your team, and honestly, out of most operators, period, it makes sense that you would feel that pressure on you. Excuse me. And yeah, so I can very much understand that a lot of this time that has passed over the last couple of weeks has involved you trying to instill some sense of discipline in the rest of your wing, trying to get them on the same schedule, maybe even to interact with each other outside of just being on missions.
Mhm.
How successful that has been, I think, is a question of some debate. But I will say that as far as your obligation is concerned on this particular day, and with the amount of stress that you have acquired, you are not awoken, because the chief strikes me as like an early riser.
Oh yeah, he wakes up real early. He's got to make sure that he's got shit done before anyone else even knows that the day has begun.
For sure. So I think it is as you are actually returning to your room that the door chimes. Is somebody? It's the digital equivalent, basically, on the ship of somebody knocking on your room in the barracks, which is a little more than a bunk.
Chief is a bigger guy. He's got a combination of muscles and dad bod. Not because he is a father himself, but because he is in his late 50s, mid to late 50s, and there's no way he can take care of his body and be a mechanic for these engines. So he's just like, yes, I'm lifting heavy things, but I'm also eating horribly. Nutrition paste is disgusting, so I, do whatever else I can to give me a sense of life. And like, he's just sitting in his bunk when that chime goes off. Tired eyes look towards the door, and he goes, "Oh, okay, what is it? What do I need to fix?"
And the door slides open, and you would actually see someone that you are very familiar with on the other side. A man who, for our audience, looks equally familiar because of his craggy face and his tired eyes and his well-trimmed beard and his military uniform that is not unbuttoned at this moment. It is buttoned tight across his chest. He is, how tall would you say the chief is? And also, if you have any other description you want to give of Roswell, feel free.
Yeah, let me give you a better word picture here. Chief normally wears just a mechanic's flight suit when he's kind of wandering around. Even when he's piloting his engine, he is wearing a mechanic suit. It's not safe. It is not a good idea, but it's just what he's always wearing. So it's just kind of a one piece, a little guy that is all black with like gold piping around it, and he has facially, like, on his face, he has like very clean cut, and he's kind of, you can see wrinkles are forming around his eyes, crow's feet, and this, like, but he also has laugh lines on his forehead, not on his hat for it, but laugh lines, and then for some inexplicable reason, his hair is this big old fluffy white pompadour that is about a good 5 inches from his forehead, popping out there. You can tell he cares about it a lot, because every once in a while he'll reach into his suit and pull out some pomade and kind of make it a little bit more shiny, a little bit bigger, as big as he can. But height wise, because you asked me how tall he was, he's not super tall. I mean, he's only like 5'10", which I guess in the deepness of space might actually make him tall, because if you're in space for too long, you eventually would get shorter. But
that is true. That is definitely a phenomenon that has affected some people here in Space Future, but not this man, not the general who stands before you. He's about 6'4", 6'5", a towering, impressive man. Very serious expression on his face. This is General Hiram Swanson. And yes, he walks in, arms clasped behind his back in very military fashion. And whether or not you jump to attention, he will say, "At ease."
I would say he definitely jump to attention. He limps to it, gets up really quick, and then once he is at ease, his shoulders relaxes. Welcome, General. What can I do for you?
Chief, I'll get right to the point. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but with
What?
Reed gone, we need a commander for your wing.
I'm a mechanic. You pulled me out of retirement. I am not the man that you need to be the commander.
Oh. Roswell. It's not mince words. Men like you and me, we don't retire. We fight, then we die.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Okay. Are you asking me to die?
I'm asking you to trust yourself the way that I trust you. Look inside and know that if it comes down to it, you'll do whatever it takes to protect those under your command. Fight for the future of humanity.
I don't know what you want me to say, Swanson. Because to be honest, I don't think there's much of a future to fight for.
You know, it's funny to hear you say that. It reminds me of something I heard someone say to me once, twice, or 100 times. To the point that it was so burned into my brain that I couldn't forget about it. Couldn't think about anything else. Because Reed said it over and over again to me, to everyone. I'm sure you heard it.
Don't bring a dead man up in this conversation. You don't need to speak ill of the dead with so many of us gone.
The only way we lose is if we lose hope.
Okay. I can be a temporary lead. This can't be a permanent thing. You need to find someone. You need to find someone who has that hope, has that spark still. I'll keep them alive. I'll keep them flying. But I can't lead them.
Well, maybe one of them will surprise you.
Maybe.
I appreciate it, Chief. It's good to have you back.
Yeah. Can you do something about my rations? They're just god awful.
I'm afraid after that last hit that the colony hub took, food production's been down everywhere, all across the fleet, unfortunately. Hoping to have it back online soon. Last report I heard.
Okay. Find out if we get any fresh strawberries, okay?
You'll be the first to know.
Great.
Commander's privileges. I'll clap you on the shoulder.
He kind of shares a smile and just okay. Good to have friends in high places, I guess.
I'll give you a nod and a salute. I'll leave your room. with leaving you under all of that crushing pressure.
Yeah. And
5 stress worth, I would say.
yes. And I would say Chief immediately goes into his private effects and pulls out a equivalent of like an MP3 player, plugs in music into his ears, and you can hear just sad jazz playing. And under his breath, he goes, "Oh, fuck, I need to get out of this game."
Sad jazz. All right, who wants to explore their obligation next? Okay. Cass,
Because I made a face, isn't it?
you've been making faces.
Yeah.
What is your lowest attribute?
Oh,
And those are the dots in the first column. So it's sun, moon, and stars.
Well, I got 3 that are real low. Which one do you want?
The lowest, which I think is probably 0. I think each of you probably has an attribute in 0 at this point, but I could be wrong about that.
I have several in that. Never mind. I misunderstood the question. New system. Who dis? Well, I've got choices I can make that have 0s. Okay. How about forgive, confess, or empathize?
So those are actions. Attributes
okay.
are the first column. So like how they're split up into sun, moon, stars.
I see now. Okay.
The dots in that first column equal what your attribute is.
Oh, moon is the lowest.
Cool. What is it?
Moon is 0.
Okay. So you're gonna roll 2d6 and take the lower.
Do it for the lol dice. Come on. Oh, okay. I got a 3.
Nice. You were only going to take 3 stress. However, moon is my favorite of the obligations. Because if moon is rolled, your obligation breaks your heart and drives you to despair.
Well, shit. I can't be sad. Tater's on the screen.
JT, put Tater away. We need Cass to be sad. You didn't. Okay. I'm sorry. I feel like I owe Tater an apology. I feel like I owe everybody an apology tonight.
Okay.
At least I didn't call him ugly.
All right. Then, Will, you know that document I sent you and the one nightmare in there?
I sure do know that document.
Yeah. So I think we find Troyan doing like in the pitch black of her quarters, her cell. It's her cell. We find her in the pitch black of her quarters with her legs wrapped around a bar and is just doing sit-ups, like in the low gravity, just eyes reflecting light from outside, because she's totally normal. And she's just about that time she asked a girl to marry her, and Hat went, she's having a great time.
Cass, you may need to hold off for just a moment. I think Will's kind of dropped off the map here.
It's a great freeze frame.
We're still going.
We're still going.
Hi everyone. Yeah, there he is.
Is he back in the stream though?
No, he's not back in the stream.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're the invisible one.
Will is the abyss.
The Leviathan's got him. No.
Oh no.
Not again, guys.
He went
Not
to the
again.
nothing.
I just got back from the nothing. We can't go back yet.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome
It's
You're
back.
Hey, I'm
back.
back.
You did
That's a
it.
first. That is
Will-
a first. I have never
We'll apologize
seen
to
the stream
OBS.
still running and then.
Mad at you. I don't know what you did,
No.
but you must have done something, you know?
No.
It's done.
Oh, maybe.
It's
Oh, no.
Again?
through
Oh.
enough shit that I don't need to
He's
apologize.
You
not
are
visible, but I
so
can hear.
frozen.
I
You
can
are
hear
so
Will.
frozen.
I can hear you.
He's
It doesn't-
he's frozen on Twitch.
Okay. I'm gonna stop picking
Deserve
on
an
Will
apology.
because clearly OBS is doing that for both of us. So
We're sorry about this, chat. It'll be okay.
It'll be
Are we-
okay.
It's
I
gonna
don't
I
be.
don't know. My bad.
Wait,
Well,
maybe.
we can hear you. Oh,
No.
You're sort of moving.
Almost.
Keep moving.
Wait, can you?
There
Yeah.
he goes. He's dropped off
Yeah.
from me again.
don't say it's
Yeah.
just not
Wow,
visible.
that was
It's
very
I was
not
saying,
refreshing.
yeah, I
visible.
also have it not visible.
I'm so sorry.
I should be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that lasts.
There's a
We'll
little
see.
lag.
I can see
Tentative
you.
piece.
We'll see if it catches
There's a
up with
little
itself.
lag. Mm.
I tried to lower the bitrate and it's just not doing it, which is cool of it. And okay, cool. So Cass, Troyan,
Mhm.
it also seems like a very good time for a description, even if the room is dark.
Yeah, the room is dark, but her eyes are reflecting the ambient light from outside the room like an animal in the dark. And she's got a very similar jumpsuit on to Chief, and a tank top. Anybody looking at her sees like red hair that's kind of streaked with like weird black strands at the temples. She looks like she's in her 30s, but who knows how old she is at this point. She's about 5'8"-ish, and since she doesn't have the jumpsuit sleeves pulled up over her tank top, there's some visible black veining going down her neck and arm and up the side of her face from recent events. She's fine. Oh, Will is so frozen. I can't hear him.
He's moving a little bit for me.
He's mute. That's
Yeah.
the problem. You're mute, Will.
Yeah, you are
also
muted.
muted.
Will's muted.
You're correct. You're correct. I was muted. That's the problem here. Oh God, my computer is so unhappy. It's so hot and there's so many fireworks.
It's true.
Gosh, what was I saying? I was asking, did you describe your eyes?
Yeah, I did.
Cool,
They are
cool, okay.
black.
It was a little jumpy.
If the lights are on, they are jet black, and there's little like black veining going through.
Hell yeah.
They weren't always that color.
And you're mid-workout?
Yeah.
Cool. And just reflecting on your past, things that you had or almost had, what took place, and the harder you push yourself physically, the more you are waiting and hoping, I think, maybe for that distraction, for something to kick in, maybe even to just exhaust yourself enough to the point where you don't have to think about this anymore, where you can finally stop. But the harder you push yourself, the louder the cries get, the louder the burst of static across the comms. A voice begging you to stop, telling you not to go. Another one telling you to turn back, that it's an order. And then darker, more sinister voices, if you can call them that. And sure enough, the harder you push yourself, eventually your body gives out. Your back hits the floor of the cell. You end up lying there, panting, trying to catch your breath, muscles cramping all over your body, and a burning, aching pain in your chest. That is only maybe half a metaphor at best.
I think she just starfishes out on the floor and is just lying there, staring at where she's pretty damn sure the camera is. Just daring somebody to come in.
And if I remember correctly from the document and from our conversations, you feel the kind of maybe probing, questioning consciousness at the edge of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
At the dark entity that serves as your engine senses your distress on some level.
I think Troyan just rolls over, gets to her feet, and just thinks, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't get twitchy. And that is very much a don't actually twitch, please. They get angry when you twitch.
They sure do.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, as you tell it to calm down, you kind of have to force yourself into a calmer state just because you're so connected to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be fair to say that you feel better, but
No.
you maybe only end up with 3 stress as opposed to what could have been more.
I think for Troyan, feeling things again is kind of new. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Sure has.
Oh. Mm.
All right. Moving on to our other obligations. Anybody? It's been a while. All right,
I'll
Izzy.
go. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Let's see.
Yeah, what's your lowest attribute?
Lowest attribute, I was just looking at this, I believe is also stars. Yes.
Okay. Cool. I think that makes a lot of sense. Do you have die, or is it empty for you?
I don't. It's empty.
All right, so 2d6. Take the lower.
Ooh, also a 1.
Okay, 5 stress. Let's go.
One.
Team 1. If stars is rolled, your obligation puts you under social pressure or sets off your anxiety. So I'll let you set the scene if you'd like. I have some thoughts about this, especially in your case, but I'm happy to see if we can work them in.
If it's social anxiety, I think Tolu is doing like a press junket. I think she is the newest member of the pilots and sort of the one that everyone expects to fail. And so this is just a bunch of like the local, actually her former employers probably having worked previously with what I think we called the Citadel News Network. And she's getting like just like like the PR team is, oh no. Good. I'm going to keep talking.
We lost Will again.
Well, pause.
How's everybody doing?
Be good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Good.
Fireworks are going off here now.
Yeah, I heard a couple.
Fireworks are going off here now, and it's middle of the day.
My place isn't doing them until the 6th.
Oh, interesting.
It's too
Wow.
expensive to do them on the 4th. So they're not doing them
Hello again, Will.
on the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's frustrating about this is that OBS is fine. OBS is fine. And I'm listening to all of you through the monitor so that I hear what the audience hears. So when I stop talking, I can still hear all of you. I just can't talk. I can still hear and see all of you on OBS because the stream is doing fine.
Good.
And it's it sucks. It's frustrating. Anyway, the Citadel News Network. Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
So I'm imagining sort of a humanitarian, like, get to know you. Who is this newest member of the so-and-so? But all of the news is bad. So she's getting a lot of really aggressive questions. She's feeling very overwhelmed, kind of like just chum thrown out into the water vibes.
I definitely dig that. And I think probably, given the state of affairs, I think it's probably very rare for any of the news network, any of the journalists to be given access to the Delphi. So I think this is maybe something that you had to actually travel off of the warship for, potentially to maybe even your home turf, whatever ship you were on before you became an engine operator.
I like
for
that.
this conversation. Cool. Excuse me. And so in this case, I think you're probably in like one of the areas that has been converted into an interview space by the news network. They've probably done their best to facsimilate a professional operation with the resources that they have at their disposal here, but it's still probably ending up being mostly you and an interviewer on a chair with some equipment pointed at you, some camera equipment, sound equipment, etc. of the like. I think you are probably just being interviewed. But before we get into that, do you want to describe Tolu for us?
Yeah, Tolu is very physically unremarkable. As a civilian of just a couple minutes ago, they are not star pilot worthy just yet. They're working on their star pilot body, as it were. But currently they're like pretty average in height, which to me is 5'3" or 5'4", and I refuse to say that's short because I think that America has a height problem, and is heightist, with long silver dreads and dark brown skin, brown eyes. She generally is wearing like sweats and a t-shirt, unless she's on a press junket, in which case she's been like crammed into a flight suit that feels very uncomfortable and unnatural for her, and just keeps like playing with the buttons as it's been hours and she's just exhausted and anxious about this whole thing.
100%, yeah. And I think you've been kept waiting in this chair for quite some time, even prior to the interview actually starting. And when it does, I think excuse me, when it does finally, when the door to the room finally opens, and somebody does enter after hours of sitting in this chair and being told by the crew over and over again that it'll be any second now, it'll be any minute now, it'll be getting started. They're just finishing up in like hair and makeup, and it'll be any second now. One of the last people you would want to see walks into the room. And I think you know this person from your days as a civilian journalist. I think this individual was probably not, it probably wouldn't be fair to call them a rival of yours, but somebody that you disliked for a variety of reasons. Mostly because he comes from a very different world of journalism than you did, much more on the entertainment side of things and much less on the like seeking the truth and providing like fair and balanced facts, things like
Sure.
that. He is first and foremost a showman, and he is very flashy to match that. I think maybe frustratingly to you, last time you saw him, his hair was maybe I'm picturing like a sort of very coiffed, slicked back sort of bubblegum pink. But now it is silver. And
it's you.
This individual is Hoffman Bloom.
Great. They sent me Bloom.
Well, don't sound so excited about it, Tolu dear. It's been so long since we've seen each other.
Yeah, didn't mean to sound excited. Sorry.
I've never understood why it is that you don't like me. Everybody likes me.
Yeah, the only people who say everybody likes me is people who aren't well liked. I don't know if you've picked up on that nuance. It's like
I think I
saying,
would
you know,
have noticed if people around me didn't like me.
oh, I'm sure you would have. Okay. Listen, let's just get this over with, okay?
Ever the professional, of course. Of course, we can go ahead and get started. Are you ready? Do you need a minute? Water? Anything?
I've been here for hours. Let's go.
So that's a no then?
That's a no.
All right. Any topics you'd like for me to steer clear of? Anything that might make you uncomfortable? I wouldn't want to put you on the spot.
Sure. Here's the thing. I have a feeling if I tell you anything that you're just going to use it against me. So let's both be professional about this and we'll get it done and over with. You get your story. I get to go home. Yeah?
Never the cynic, Tolu. And I've always said I think that's what held you back as a journalist.
Sure, that was it.
But it's good you found a new calling.
Thanks.
And he'll take a seat, and you maybe kind of dissociate through his introduction as the recording, the broadcast kind of begins, and he's just doing his very plastic, very fake pleasantry introduction to the news network kind of thing. Our next guest needs no introduction, etc., that sort of thing. Before I think you're maybe jerked out of that as he turns to you and says, Tolu, it's wonderful to have you here back on the news network vessel, in the hot seat, so to speak.
Certainly does feel hot today. Yeah, no, it's great to be here. It's good to be here. I'm glad to be back among something familiar and relatively safe, right?
Speaking of safe, of course, in the last couple of months, I guess you've come very familiar with hot seats in general, given your new position.
And to be clear, I didn't ask for any of this. I know that we've been over this before, but it's just sort of here and what happened. I know what people like you are paid to say, so just to put that out there, I'm here and doing my best. Thank you for your
Just
support.
the facts, darling. Just the facts.
Of course, sure.
And speaking of fact, quite an upset, wasn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, your engine, I mean, the one that chose you, seemingly out of nowhere. What is it called again?
Ocean?
Ocean. Right. Yes, Ocean. I mean, historically, that engine's been in the same family for generations. A legacy.
Trust, I am just as confused as they are.
And how's that been for you?
How has it been? Well, it's been a lot of training. Learning to pilot is a lot different than learning to photograph. And I think that all of us together here today can, and she's sort of like clearly pulling on like PR notes that she's been given, can truly be the one and also the all.
Now, of course, that's a beautiful sentiment, and we love to hear that, but we want the real story. We want the nitty-gritty details. I mean, have you experienced any sort of unfriendliness, shall we say, since moving on up to the Delphi? Being amidst all of those operators, all of those starfighter pilots, do they look at you like you, gosh, I don't know, robbed one of their own?
I didn't rob anyone. I, like you said, was chosen. And if I had my way, well, maybe we wouldn't be here. But here we are. People are going to people, as you know. And it's fine. I've got a great team around me of good togetherness. And the Citadel, we rise as one.
Well, that's wonderful, darling, and very inspiring. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that we feel much safer knowing that you're behind the helm of one of these engines, you and your team. Inspiring words from the Citadel Fleet's newest engine operator.
She's just sitting there.
We'll be right back.
Fuck.
And the person behind the camera calls clear. And he sinks down in his chair, fanning himself a little bit, sort of mopping at the sweat on his brow, and says, well, I think you killed it, dear.
Thanks for the kind words and for the softballs. I guess you weren't as cruel as you could have been.
Well, as journalists, we never strive to be cruel.
Well, some of us don't have to strive.
And we do miss that cutthroat attitude of yours around here, rest assured.
Miss you all too.
You'll always have a home here to come back to when, if this doesn't work out.
Here's the thing. If it doesn't work out, I don't think I'm coming back. And I think you know that.
I guess that is true. Well, you'll always have a home here in our hearts and memories.
Cool.
5 stress 5 stress from
5
that.
stress.
From that whole
Woo-hoo.
thing. 5 stress, gang. Good
Do I mark
time
that
is
somewhere?
had by all. You do. Yeah, you mark that on your stress track, the one that goes towards Eclipse.
Oh, shoot. That is a lot of stress.
But, it is a lot of stress.
Cool.
You can get rid of that. It's too hard. It doesn't mean it has to stay with you forever. God damn it. My back.
You're still there. You're back. You're
Okay,
fine.
And
I
you're
blipped.
you're
I
hanging in
blipped
there.
on OBS. I blipped on OBS. All right, cool. Between Cogs and Grace, what's your next?
I don't care.
All right, JT. No, okay. All right. I heard a voice.
Oh, I said I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's go with it. What is your lowest attribute? Pebbles.
Mine is sun. I have 1.
Hell yeah. I love that. All right, cool. Fantastic. Roll that 1 die, 1d6.
I got a 3.
Okay, cool. So you're only going to take 3 stress. And if
Cool.
sun is rolled, your obligation involves scary people or circumstances or is physically taxing.
Wow. How fitting.
Yeah. Fitting indeed.
I imagine that this is a scenario where Grace was taking a nap because what else are you going to do? And besides work, obviously, but
Obviously.
and had a nightmare that Grace often has, but feels like is not their nightmare. I know that sounds strange, but they don't really know how else to explain that it's not their nightmare. And that's kind of the scariest part of all of it. Because in their nightmare, there's always a mirror. And there's always a figure on the other side of it. But because it's not their nightmare, they can't fully process who that figure is.
And what or who would Grace expect to see in a mirror? Or in other words, do you want to describe Grace?
So Grace is 5'3", and acts like it. So they're more comfortable laying on the floor than they are on their own bed. So they're napping on the floor in a whatever they fell asleep in, which was some mechanic overalls and a flannel that they sometimes will use as a pillow depending on what kind of hair day they're having that day. And on this particular day, it was a pretty good hair day. So they were using their flannel as a pillow and kind of shot up off the floor. And kind of like, for some reason, every time they wake up from this nightmare, they just feel like something's been like scratching their arms. And so they're always looking to kind of like make sure there's no scratches or anything on their skin, which is kind of a lighter complexion, and their hair, which is like a black, but very wavy, curly, very messy, very tangled, very just. They could brush it, but what would be the point? And and they just kind of sit up really quick and like toss their hair, take a big sigh, and take a minute just kind of like look around at how depressing their surroundings are. You're okay.
Yeah, we're good. And as you look around and as you take all of that in, as the dream kind of starts to fade into the background of your mind a little bit, I think there is a chime, not from your door, but from the intercom system that is built into the wall of your room next to the door. That says, there's a voice that says, you probably recognize it, Operator Choi, I'd like for you to meet me in the med bay.
Okay. I'm fine though. Like, I don't need to go to the med bay. I'm fine. Right?
It would put my mind at ease.
Okay, fine. And Grace, like, reluctantly starts getting up, joints cracking as they do so, which they keep telling her is just because she's eventually going to get taller, or that, like, the system does something to her body, but she feels like it's like, I don't know, something else is going on. But that's just too much paperwork. She grabs her flannel, throws it on, grabs like her fanny pack that she carries around everywhere with her, and starts trudging down to the med bay, like scuffing her feet the entire way in her oversized boots that she refuses to get new boots, to the point where everyone knows when she's coming down the hallway because they just hear the shuffle of her footsteps before they see her. Yeah. Now I'm at the med bay.
Yeah, you
Because you
get to the
asked
med bay
me
and
to be here.
it sure did. It wasn't me who asked you to be here. It was Dr. Samuel Haynes, who is waiting for you just inside the door when you arrive. There are a few beds that are built into the floor. They have kind of a membranous blue surface crisscrossed with lines, which is where they perform the majority of their diagnostic functions, in addition to being fairly comfortable. Dr. Haynes is waiting for you right inside the med bay door, next to the closest one. And as you get in, he will gesture for it. Dr. Haynes is also a tall man, not as tall as the general, maybe about 6'1", 6'2", very rangy. His hair was coal black at one point, now is crisscrossed with gray. He's clean shaven. He has very sharp features, circular glasses that he wears over his eyes, and a lab coat, as you might expect. He gestures for you to take a seat on the diagnostic table.
Okay. Is this a regular thing? Like, have we done this before?
I think it's maybe been a few times, but in general, he seems concerned about you and your health significantly over the past couple of weeks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So then Grace will sit down on the med table and not say anything, and just kind of like watch as if like going through the motions kind of deal. If that makes sense.
And yeah, he will go through that. He'll look at the data pad. He also doesn't say anything for a while, and then eventually says, "Have I upset you, Grace?"
Oh, no. I mean, have you tried to and it didn't work or something?
You've not said a word since you stepped in.
Oh, well, I figured, we've done this a few times now, and I know what we're doing, and you know probably more about what we're doing. And as far as I know, I'm the only person that gets these kind of tests. So I figure asking questions, which is what I really want to do, is probably not good for either of us, right? That's not great. So we don't do that here.
Well, you're welcome to ask questions. I have nothing to hide from you.
Yeah, that's exactly what you would say if you had something to hide. You know that, right?
I suppose that you have caught me there in a bit of contradiction. But as to your point about the rest of your wing, the rest of the engine operators, they've not experienced significant gaps in their memories or recurring nightmares without an explanation. Is a cause for
Fair.
concern.
I'll give you that. But when I was younger, they used to just tell me it was night terrors and send me on my way. So what is the difference now?
He cocks an eyebrow at you and says, "Did they?"
Yeah, isn't it in my file?
I would have to check to be certain. They said that you had night terrors when you
Yeah,
were a child.
I used to wake up screaming and stuff, normal kid night terror things that happen to most people on a regular basis, I'm sure. And they told I kind of remember this person in a lab coat, much like this one that you're wearing right here, telling my dad, I think, maybe. Faces are kind of fuzzy still, but that it was just night terrors and that they would pass and that they would be fine. And it was either that or I don't know if I had any other option. I really just have been dealing with them forever, so it's just confusing as to why they matter now.
He looks up from the data pad at you after hitting a few buttons. Well, it sounds like you are doing much better. Things are coming back to you.
Yeah, do I get a cookie?
I'm afraid the best that I can do, and he fishes into the pocket of his lab coat and he produces a lollipop. But he only ever has lime green ones.
Okay, I'll take it. And Grace puts it in her pocket of her overalls.
And everything else seems normal here. But you will let me know you start to remember other things.
Yeah. I mean, how much detail do you want? I could text you, I could do that. That could be something I could do. Or not, also, that might be a line. I'm not sure, but
I'll tell you what. Why don't we make these checkups regular for the foreseeable future? Let's touch base once a week or so. Maybe more frequently if something comes up. If you start to remember things, you let me know.
okay.
But otherwise, I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. And she hops off the table thing and just goes back to her room.
And that wasn't that bad. 3 stress.
Yes. And I got a lollipop.
And you got a lollipop. Lime green one.
Oh, yeah.
Which brings us to Cogs.
We don't have to.
I think we absolutely have to. It's called an obligation, actually.
I am obligated to no man.
That's cool. I'm obligated to ask what your lowest attribute is.
That would be sun at 0.
All right, it's 2d6. Take the lower.
Cool. That's a 6 and a 5.
Ooh, okay. One
Impossible to
stress.
kill.
You're only going to take 1 stress, and it's sun, which means your obligation involves scary people or circumstances or is physically taxing. So, what kind of obligations does Cogs face in their everyday life?
I think Cogs has kind of sloughed off most of their primary crew member duties in service of Will's gone.
Do you notice it all happens like right when we start these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pattern.
Chuck is here.
Hi, Chuck.
Chuck is here, and Chuck fixes streams.
Come on, Chuck, do it. I believe in you.
Do a baby crime. Cast a spell.
Bring Will back.
It's because Will
She's like,
been
Mother, what are you
summoned.
misspelled sour apple in chat.
I've been
Sour
summoned by
Appel.
Chuck.
A
What
pet.
happened was
Oh.
sour.
No.
Oh, no, no. Hold on.
Oh no, the
I
stream
fixed-
went. Oh, this might be bad.
Oh,
I can see.
Still-
Oh, nope.
stream is still going.
We're still live.
And we can see, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
still on
Chuck, do your
screen, just
damn
very
job.
frozen. Bring back Will.
Stream is chugging. Oh, here it is.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, can
It's
you
back
see
in
Will?
Video. I can't
Oh,
see
no.
Will.
And he
Okay.
just
The
disappeared.
stream just reappeared, and Will's reappeared in.
the
director
stream,
tile.
we can't
Oh, there's
see.
Will.
I can see.
Now I just see him. Now I see Will.
I see him
I think
in
Chuck
the
made it
tile, but I
worse.
can't
We
see him.
should highlight this whole stream and name it Where's Will?
Where's Will? Where's Will? Spot
see
Will.
that.
if you
Alternate
can.
title.
Kaz,
Can you hear
How
us?
you doing, bud?
might have to
Yeah.
refresh if this time.
Where's Will? God damn it. Oh
Kaz,
my
can we-
god. Calling him Will
Amy?
No Face forevermore. I don't care how bad
We
things get for my
can
character.
see you. You're still chugging a little bit.
Yeah, there's a strong lag,
Yeah.
but we can see you.
Hold on.
Mhm.
Your
Oh,
camera's
he's still
frozen.
showing is not visible for me in the window. So
Oh, really?
Mhm.
No, he's right there.
I can see him.